Welcome to the new and improved Remo Show. Let's get it, let's go.
The white tenant dilemma. The white tenant dilemma.
Everybody to know that
Shit.
this is a true story. Y'all, it's your boy Remo back with another video. I'm back with another video. Y'all wonder why I say video. I think I told y'all a while ago the reason why I say video is because I used to work with this dude from the Caribbean, and this was when PlayStation 2 was out and that video game Fight Night was popular. He used to always say, I'm going to go home and play my video game, because he had a heavy Caribbean accent. He used to be like, yeah, I got a new video. He used to be like, Remo, I got a new video game. I'm like, oh, you got a new video game, video, yeah, video. So that's where I get the video from. But yeah, man. In this video, I want to tell y'all about, a lot of y'all be asking, oh, how come you don't never talk about the white tenants? Oh, white tenants are just as bad as the black tenants and blah, blah, blah. Black females are just as worse, or if not worse. You know, they ain't no better than the black ones. Okay. Calm down, dickheads. The reason why I haven't talked about the white chicks yet is because I only had 3 white tenants. I have the ones I got now, they're white, they're excellent. And I had 2 before. Now, I'm about to start telling y'all about the white tenants that I had in this series. It's called White Female Tenants, you know? So, this is the first of the 2 videos I'm going to tell y'all about. And maybe I'll tell y'all a third one about my current white tenants, but so far so good with them. They mind their own business. You know, they've been there for about 7 months. I haven't had any problems. I hardly ever see them. They both work. It's a mother and daughter. They both work. But anyway, now, this is about this chick that looked like Casey Deluxe, or Casey. You know, that the female P-star who's a voyeur, of, how you say it, voyager. She walks around public places half naked, you know, with her boobs out. This chick looked just like her. Now, y'all know I have the canny ability to pinpoint who looked like who. I can look at you and tell who you look like or what you look like. That all started when I was about 8, 9 years old. You know, I had told my classmates that Keith Sweat kind of looked like Patrick Ewing, and everybody was like, yeah, they do. So I was like, damn, really? So it started at that moment, you know, and then I realized, yeah, I got this canny ability to tell somebody who they look like. Yeah, but anyway, yeah, this chick, I don't want to say her name. This is not even funny. This is kind of sad, yo, and everything is based on a true story. Like most of my videos, it's just that I have to sugarcoat a lot of the videos because a lot of the stories I tell y'all is raw. It's a lot more raw than what I make it out to be, because this is YouTube. You can only go so far. So believe me, a lot of the stories y'all heard in the past, a lot of them was a little bit more explicit. I just had to, you know, clean them up. But this story is kind of explicit, but it was kind of sad, man. Like, you know, these, at the time that this chick lived here, she was my best tenant. You know, I mean, I hated for her to leave, but she had to. You know, sometimes you get tenants and you be like, oh man, I hope they can stay forever. You know, she was one of those good tenants. She was always on time with her rent. She kept the yard clean. She used to wipe down all the windows. You couldn't ask for a better tenant. She didn't complain. You know, she was soft-spoken. You know, she was a cute blonde white chick. And she was from the hood. She was from Philly. West Philly, in West Philadelphia. Born and raised. Oh, I used to tease her. I used to be like, yeah. Damn, I almost said her name. I used to be like, yo, in West Philadelphia, born and raised. She used to smile. She used to wear glasses. And she used to always sit on the porch, smoke her cigarettes, read her books. You know, she didn't bother anybody. And when she first moved in, after they all got moved in and stuff, she had a black boyfriend. Well, I thought it was her boyfriend. Come to find out at the end, they were just friends. She had a black friend that we used to call Garbage Pail Kid. Well, my neighbors across the street said he looked like a Cabbage Patch doll. And I looked and I said, nah, that motherfucker looked like a Garbage Pail Kid. Y'all remember them Garbage Pail Kids from the 80s? They used to come as cards or stickers. They made a movie about them back in the late 80s, but it flopped. It was horrible. Yeah, them Garbage Pail Kids. That's how he looked. Motherfucker used to walk around like, yeah, fat feet. He was like, yeah, what's up? You know, what's up? I'm like, what the fuck, bro? Motherfucker looked like a hamster with food stuffed in his jaws. He looked just like a fucking Garbage Pail Kid. I told my girl, she was dying laughing. They moved in and like the second day they were there, I go outside, check the mail, and there was a bag on my door. I opened the door, there was a bag, somebody left a bag hanging on my door. I'm like, what the fuck is this? So I took it and I opened it. It was a purple bag. I opened it. It was a bunch of cameras. I'm like, now I thought it was my nieces because they was over there that day. It looked like something they would have. Like the purplish colored bag, it looked like something that belonged to them. So I brought it in the house, sat it on the coffee table. I asked my wife, you know, who are these such and such? But who did this bag of cameras belong to? And she called around. Nobody said they knew what I was talking about. So then the very next day, I get a knock at the door. It's the Garbage Pail Kid. He came in like this, huh? Yo, man, did you get a bag? A purple bag? Somebody put a purple bag on your door? And I was like, yeah, this. He was, yeah, that, man. He was like, yeah, that belongs to Casey. We gonna call her Casey. He was like, yeah, that belongs to Casey. I was like, okay. I'm looking at this motherfucker like, damn, man, get that air. Motherfucker look like Dizzy Gillespie. Yeah, man, you got that bag with the cameras, man. Yeah, man, good. Oh, yeah, good looking, man. Okay. I was like, yeah, take it and go ahead. Go on about your business, man. He was a cool dude, but I want him to get the fuck out my face with them blown up cheeks. Yeah, man. Shit, man. So then, about a week later, same thing. I opened up, I was checking the mail. Opened up the door, was a bag hanging on the door with cameras in it. I'm like, so I knocked on their door, they didn't answer. So about 3 days later, they knocked on my door. The dude again. Yeah, well, it was another bag of cameras hanging on your door, man. Yeah, well, oh yeah, those are cases. Yeah, well, so, yeah, give me the bag. Okay. Yeah, thanks, man. All right, see you later. Yeah, well, okay. So I'm thinking Casey into photography or something, because it was like it was those cameras with the long lens on them. It was like 3 of them in each bag. She had a total of 6. I ain't think nothing of it. So months and months, they stayed for about a year. Months went by, no problems. You know, she kept the yard clean. She wiped down the windows. She minded her own business. Then 2 months before they moved out, the Garbage Pail Kid dude got into a car accident. Fucked up his arm, fucked up his hand. His hand looked like a baseball mitt. Dude was messed up, but his car was totaled. He had a white Kia SUV or something like that. His car was totaled. He was pissed, and he had to go to rehabilitation because he messed up his arm pretty bad. You know, he had to have surgery and all that. And I didn't see him for a while, so Casey was by herself. And he had told me, he was like, keep an eye on Casey. I'm like, how the hell I hardly ever see her. Like, how the hell am I keep an eye on her? I see her out on the porch. I said, okay, all right, no problem. I was like, because he knew I was armed at this time. And he used to watch me come and go to work. And used to be, sometime I'll have my bulletproof vest on. He knew. So he told me to keep an eye on her and the property. No problem. I'm going to do that regardless. So a couple of weeks later, I'm on the porch with my headphones on. This is the sad part, y'all. I'm on the porch with my Bluetooth headset on. And I'm talking to my stepbrother on the phone. We talking loud because we arguing about sports. We arguing about hip hop. And so it's like a divider that divides my side from their side. It's like a divider in the middle. So I'm sitting on that divider just talking to my stepbrother. We arguing and shit. And so I hear somebody say, hello, hello. And so I took off my headphones and I hear it again, hello. And then I look back. It was Casey. She was standing in the doorway, butt naked. Butt naked. No lie.
Shit.
No lie. I swear to God, she was butt naked. And she had a beautiful body. She was bucket naked. But she had her glasses off. At first, I didn't know who she was. Because I'd never seen her without her glasses. She was like, can you get off my porch? You're talking a little bit too loud. She's standing in the doorway, butt naked, y'all, telling me that I'm talking too loud. I said, I live here. I live next door. She was like, yeah, but you're talking too loud. She was like, don't make me call the police. Remember, you're black and I'm white. Then she slammed the door. I was like,
shit.
And then my stepbrother was like, oh, man, who the fuck was that? I was like, yo, I think that was my tenant. And he was like, talking to you like that? I was like, or somebody's. I said, wait a minute, that's got to be her. I said, I never seen her without her glasses. I said, it sounded like her. I told him, I said, yo, she was butt naked. He was like, what? And so I didn't tell nobody. I didn't want to tell my girl. My girl would have went over there and tried to kill her or do something to her. So I kind of kept it to myself. And so shortly after that, about a week after that, I get a knock on my door. And I look, it's the garbage pail kid. He wasn't standing there like this, or, he had lost a lot of weight because, he was in the hospital or whatever. And it was another mixed looking dude standing next to him. So I said, yo, what's up, man? He was like, yo, you seen Casey? I said, yeah, about a week ago. And he was like, yo, she missing. I was like, missing? I'm thinking something seriously happened to her, like she got raped or something. And I told them what she said, but I didn't tell them that she was butt naked. I was like, yeah, I was out here on the phone. And she came out here talking about something. I need to be quiet, or she gonna do something to me, or call the police, or whatever, because I'm black and she white. And it was like, oh man. And then the mulatto dude that was there, that was her brother. He drove up here from Philly. Apparently, she was going through some schizophrenic type shit. And the garbage pail kid told me that's what them cameras was for. He was like, remember them cameras? He was like, yeah, we had cameras all over the house watching her. I was like, for real? He was like, yeah, man. He was like, because, she has these episodes where, she's just not there. I was like, oh, man. I was like, oh, shoot. Oh, my goodness. I was like, y'all don't know where. They was like, nope. She had a van. They couldn't trace. The police was trying to trace the location of the van. How they was doing it, I don't know. But they eventually found her. But her brother was damn near in tears. He was like, man, this can't be happening, man. He was like, I told her. He was like, she's smoking weed and smoking cigarettes and not taking her medicine. He was like, yo, when she don't take this medicine, and when she don't take her medicine, she wows out, she flips out. And then her brother was like, yeah, she went up to the bar with a knife, looking to kill somebody. I was like, what? Because it's a bar down the street from my house. It's a LBGT bar. You know what I mean? It is what it is. But she was looking to kill somebody, and then her brother was like, doing something like that, somebody can shoot her because there's a lot of armed people in our neighborhood. You know what I mean? And he was like, yeah, man, when she don't take her medicine, she just have all these episodes. He was like, man, I'm scared, man, I'm scared. And they was like, yo, Remo, if you see her, call 911. And then they both gave me their numbers, and I said, okay, I'll call you guys first, then I'll call 911. So I was like, damn. So I'm sitting there, I closed the door. I went and sat in the living room, and I'm sitting there thinking like, damn, she out of her mind like this. She's a schizophrenic, but she got this black boyfriend staying with her. So a couple days later, I saw the garbage pail kid dude walking down the street slowly. And I said, yo, man, have you seen Casey? He was like, nah, man, she's still missing. I said, yo, dude, if you don't mind me asking, I said, you being black. I was serious. I was like, yo, you being black and her being white. I was like, and she got that illness going. I said, do you feel a little uncomfortable sometimes? He was like, nah, that's my. He was like, we friends. He was like, He was like, we known each other for a long time. We just friends. He was like, I'm basically her friend / caregiver. I was like, yeah, but she talk about she's white and I'm black. I was like, she could say you did anything and you'll be locked up under the fucking jail, dude. He was like, nah, she wouldn't do such a thing. I was like, if she lose it, I said, anything could happen. She could point the finger at you and you'll be damned. You'll be doomed, dude. He was like, nah. And I was like, okay, but it wouldn't be me. Like, I'm good, man. I don't want to be around no chick like that, man. You know what I mean? Answering the door, walking around naked and stuff like that, not in her right mind. So, shortly after that, I come home from work one night, and my girl was like, this Casey ain't been home lately? I was like, I haven't seen her in a while, and then I told her that her brother and her friend been looking for her, that she just disappeared. And my girl was like, I think she hiding somewhere in the house. She was like, because I heard somebody over there today. I was like, what you heard? She said somebody was knocking on the bedroom wall. My girl said she was laying in the bed reading and she heard. And then my girl said she repeated it. She knocked on the wall back. And then my girl said she would hear. And then my girl said she would do it. She said somebody was going back and forth. And I said, why you even playing games with him? She was like, I thought it was a kid or something. She was like, but they don't have no kids. My girl was like, something ain't right. And then I told her, I was like, I think she going through some mental episodes. And I told her about them cameras and what they said and, the issues that Casey be having. And then my girl was like, oh, okay. She was like, that explains why she keep knocking on the wall. She was like, she knew something was going on when they started exchanging rhythms. So my girl already knew. And plus my girl, she used to work in the, not in the insane asylum, but like in the mental ward of the hospital, the psych ward. So my girl already know they do stuff like that. She already knew. You know what I mean? When I told her what the cameras was for, she already knew. She was finishing my sentences and telling me what they was really for and all this stuff. I was like, wow. So fast forward 2 weeks, still didn't see her until one day I was coming home from the farmer's market early in the morning. This time I parked on the street. And then I see Casey's van parked right in front of me. And so she got out the van butt naked, opened the door and peed right there.
Oh, hell no.
And I was like, yo. So I tried to call her brother. It went straight to voicemail. I called the garbage pail kid. His phone just rang and rang and rang. So I got out the car. She jumped in her van and looked at me. She was like, I was like, what the hell? She was like,
oh, hell no.
Like she was going to kill me or something. I was like, oh, hell no. So I called 911 and the police came to the house. It was like, yeah, we're looking for her. Which way did she go? I said she went that way. They said, okay, there's nothing we could do, but we're on the lookout for her. She's having a mental episode, and we've been getting police. The police officer was like, yeah, we've been getting calls about this chick doing stuff like that. I was like, okay. So then I saw her brother and the garbage pail kid later on that day, and I told them what she did. I said, yeah, she looked at me and pointed and did like this, and they was like, oh my, they laughed. I wasn't laughing. I was like, yo, that was fucked up. She talking about killing me and shit, slit my throat. So eventually they caught up to her and they put her in the psych ward for a while. While she was in there, they was getting ready to move. They was moving all her stuff back to Philly. And before she left, she came back home for a couple of days, and the garbage pail kid told me that she said she apologized. And I was like, oh, okay, no, it's no big deal. I just want to see her doing better. And the garbage pail kid also said that she don't remember any interactions with you. And I was like, I hope nobody did nothing to her. And I was like, because, she's a female. She's vulnerable. Not in her right mind. And then he was like, nah, she's straight. She just don't remember anything. She said it was like a dream. Like she blacked out 1 minute and woke up a couple of weeks later. I was like, damn. So that was kind of sad and scary. And then she moved out and never saw her again. Never heard from her again. I don't know how she's doing. But that was sad, man. That was sad and scary. Here's this good looking chick blonde hair, blue eyes, and she got this mental issue, that she can't do nothing about. And, she got to live the rest of her life like that. She could harm herself. She could harm anybody. That's schizophrenia. That's some serious shit, man. And I just hope wherever she is, I hope she's doing better. And sometimes you get tenants with mental issues. Sometimes you get tenants with physical issues. That was sad, y'all. That wasn't funny. Don't y'all be laughing. All right? It's your boy Remo, 100.